This is a football discussion show for entertainment and opinion only. Everything here is about sport. We don't involve politics, personal targeting, or hate. So let's talk about football. And the football today, Kenny Ken 1972 on Instagram. Make sure you follow him. Is Sunderland 2, Arsenal 2. A lackluster performance that we've seen multiple times this season. A manager who decided to make one sub that was a defender, and then we concede a goal after we tried to park the bus. Instead of bringing on any attackers, he decided to bring on a defender. I'm shut up shop thinking he's slick. However, that backfired today. Every single one of them to a man today was awful. Yeah, he waffles in press conferences about we need to manage the load of the players. We need to manage the welfare of the players. Yeah, there's so many games. Oh, the schedule. The journos have been asking me about schedule. Oh, what do you think of the schedule, Mikel? Do you think players will go on strike soon? And then Bukayo Saka plays another 90. Declan plays another 90. Eze played 85. All three of them are playing for England in the week, by the way, or next week. Mikel Merino and Zubimendi will probably play for Spain. Yeah, Timber will play for Holland. Yeah, all of them will be playing for their nations. Maybe not Raya. Yeah, but again, Kenny, he cost us that game today. I thought we were awful in that first half. And when I say awful, we've seen a lot of awful performances this season. But what Sunderland I thought did well, they limited us to 2 corners the whole game. The one from Saka we took short. The one from Declan, the keeper punched it. Other than that, we hit the crossbar. Saliba put one over the bar first half. But a draw was fair, right?
Oh, it was absolutely a fair result. I think what it is that you got to remember one thing. There's a blueprint to pay us, especially if we're playing how we're currently playing, like relying on set pieces and making ourselves tactically difficult to break down, and especially in our shape. What we've done in a lot of few games, especially during that goalless, run. Well, for us, not so much for the opposite, not so much for the opposition. I mean, in terms of we haven't conceded in the 8 games, it's because we basically bully teams physically, especially when we go goal ahead. We're difficult to break down. But what Sunderland did, which a lot of teams weren't able to do, is match us physically. And not only were they able to match us physically, they maintained that for most of the game. The only reason why we got into the game was because they started to get sloppy sloppy like they did in the Everton game. They got sloppy, gave the ball away a few times. Saka had his shot, went wide this time, and then there was another couple of times when they got sloppy. And then when Declan Rice, finally punished them, Saka scored a really good goal. But let's start in the first half. The first half, Sunderland just got in their faces. They won they competed for every second ball. They try to get their runners behind our defence. And you notice one thing: is when we tried to get physical with their attackers, those attackers would like I said, mashing us physically, and that's one of the reasons why they put us under real pressure. People might have argued with the free kick leading up the goal, but Ballard, the way he got it out of his feet and put it in the roof of the net, our players were I don't know what they were looking for. They thought the VAR might sort of help them out.
Well, it wasn't a free kick from Zubimendi, but that's no excuse for poor defending.
It wasn't a free kick from Zubimendi at all. But that's one of the things. It's a rub of the green. You still got to concentrate. You still got to get in position. The fact is that Sunderland were able to win the first header, and that made space for Ballard. And let's face it, there were instances where we were just taken completely by surprise by their approach. Normally, teams sit off us. Normally, teams don't want to compete for those, 50-50 balls, but they got in our faces. Gabriel and Saliba got a shock where it was physical. They were going to have a battle with Gabriel and Saliba. They weren't afraid of them. And another one thing that Sunderland had, which hurts teams that are physical and hurts teams that are very organised, is they had pace. They had pace, and they had players like Isidore and I think Tay as well, where they were happy and comfortable possession. They were going to try and get the ball. They weren't going to play it long. They just got on the ball and tried to make things happen. Great Xhaka was just organising the troops. Second half now, we were better, but we were better because this time we finally realised we're in a football match. We finally realised, you know what? Not every team is going to just sit down and admire us and say at the end of the game, "Oh yeah, it's so difficult to penetrate this Arsenal team. We can't overload them." No. It's not like that in football, you know. And we got a very good goal, but that's from their mistakes. We punished from mistakes, although we had a few chances where we could have gone got the equaliser. Saka good goal,
Yeah, I
and
don't
then
know. I don't know how
afterwards,
Saka missed that chance though when his left foot and when
yeah,
we were still
he missed a
leading.
chance. He was only, but the reason why there's mitigating circumstances. He was, I think the defender did get in ahead of him, so he didn't have a clean angle. But normally he puts those ones away. But with his weaker foot, when the defender and the goalkeeper give him very little aim at, he puts it in the back of the net. So he did well there. But it's one of those things where, again, he wasn't given any time to breathe. Trossard, was trying to make things happen, and then with 70 minutes of goal, he scores a bloody good goal. Gets the ball out of his feet,
Great
boom,
goal.
in the roof of the
Unbelievable
net.
finish.
And then normally with our players, you think, you know what, game over. I thought it'd be
Mm.
game over, but you can't knock Sunderland. Previous to when all their front three got tired, their coach took a risk, said right, all them off, brought fresh legs on. So when they did concede, it was a case of, you know what, we got nothing to lose here. Let's go at them. Let's go at them. They actually risked, conceding a third. We didn't. When Sunderland up the tempo, we didn't create anything. We were on our goal line. The manager, takes off Eze and he brings on Mascara, and I was thinking, you know what? They're beginning to make runs off Declan Rice. Declan Rice is knackered. Why don't you
Yeah.
make a change there? Certain players, Trossard looked a bit heavy legged. Saka looked a bit heavy legged, but he didn't make any changes. And you're thinking, well, hang on here. When I'm signing the Gona, you thought, can you bring Max Darman on?
Yeah,
In order
Ethan.
to create Ethan or Max Darman, where they got fresh legs, exploit the spaces that Sunderland were leaving. But he didn't do that. He was happy to settle for, the 2-1. And then, going in injury time, we thought, all right, he's got away with it. But again, we've got to talk about the second goal. Two instances, two phases of play where, first and foremost, Robbie's been fouled, been held. I don't know whether it was by Mascara or Salih, but either way, either way, they weren't doing their job. And then Gabriel is in Clag Cuckoo land. If he generally thinks that they're going to give a foul when his head is low down and it's actually the striker's height, you're in dreamland. And the same goes for Raya as well. They gave us a few warning signs where the first time when Raya makes a save from Brodbury again, and then a couple of saves he made, but the first one it was offside, and the second one he's made a save. There's a few warning signs where they weren't getting behind us, but Raya, made a couple of double saves. But you can't keep on letting teams get in behind, and then what happens? They get the league cards. But even then, we could have nicked it. Good save from a header by the goalkeeper, and then on the rebound, man of the match, Ballard, snuffs out a rebound. I think it was it got the rebound. I think it was it Moreno who had the shot with his right foot?
Yeah, Rice, I think it was.
Right, I think
Was
it
it
was
Rice?
Rice and Moreno. No,
Yeah, one of them.
I think one of them
Might have
was
been
Rice and
Moreno. Yeah,
Moreno
it
had
was
the shot with his right
either
foot.
one.
Even so, it would have been like daylight robbery because Sunderland did enough not to lose the game. We didn't do enough to win it. However, we've got to get used to that, Lee, because there is now a blueprint to play this Arsenal side. You've got to play with a lot of pace. You've got to be brave. You've got to be physical as well against this team. You've got to
They were
make
massively physical today. They roughed us up today.
You've got to
They were doing the dark arts. They were dragging us back.
Yeah,
They were
so.
this and that.
The referees were letting things go for us, and they were letting things go for them. The referee had there's no criticism of the referee.
The only thing I criticised the ref for, it weren't a foul from Zubimendi. He won the ball, and that obviously led to the goal. But it was inside their own half, so that's no excuse for us conceding when the ball's inside their own half on a free kick.
Don't get me wrong. The situation is that you say it wasn't a foul to Zubimendi. Another angle will say different. That, Zubimendi didn't pull the shirt. Because remember, he got a yellow card, but he didn't pull the shirt. But what he did, he's upended the guy. But everyone thought that the referee was giving a yellow card for the shirt pull, but he wasn't. He upended it. Even so, normally when things go against us. We're organised. We don't make mistakes. But again, it's about being prepared to compete for balls, which a lot of teams aren't when they play against us. Sunderland competed for the ball, won the first.
They won every second ball pretty much.
Yeah. That's when they were on top in the first half, and then let's not forget, in the first 20 minutes, Sunderland were the one making mistakes. Sunderland were the one who was panicking. Sunderland were the ones who were basically hanging on, because we were creating chances, we were getting the ball, we did have a lot of time on the ball, and we did put them to the sword. But it's their reaction. Their reaction to going 2-1 down was professional. And I thought, why we can hurt? We showed we can hurt in the
four
first
subs.
But
our reaction was to bring a defender on and then concede.
I think our reaction is that we believed in what we were good at. Instead of thinking we're playing Sunderland, we thought, right, it's all the other games where teams go, no, we don't want any more of this. But it's a different kind of game. In future, we may not play a team in the Premiership is going to be trying to win the second balls. But what we learned today, two things: there's a blueprint to beat us, especially if we don't have all our players. And secondly, the league is not decided in November. It's not. The fact is that the reason why people say the Premiership's the best league in the world, it's not because of the quality of football. It's essentially because of teams like Sunderland. Everyone thought when Sunderland come up, they were just going to be passive, naive, and lose every game 3-0. But it didn't. They got professional. They got Granit Xhaka in. And by getting Granit Xhaka in, they're able to produce the performance. That's what football's all about. And Arsenal are going to find it out. There are going to be teams like Sunderland who are going to, like I said, give us, a hard time. There may be teams who think, you know what, we've got nothing to fear. We respect Arsenal, and we respect the fact they've got a big bench. But if we can get in their faces, why not? And if we have pace to get in beyond, why not? Now, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, we missed Gyökeres. Not really. Gyökeres.
Yeah, they'll be talking about how many injuries we've got. Well, we've still got Damon and Ethan on the bench, mate.
Let's not forget, Gyökeres scored a couple of goals against a very tired Atletico Madrid, but that's what we bought him for. He scored against Nottingham Forest. And Leeds, Nottingham Forest, and Burnley. That's what we bought him for.
Then they can talk about Martinelli. Well, 90% of his fan base wanted him sold.
Yeah.
Not only that, Odegaard's, we ain't missing him because he don't do anything.
We're not missing Martinelli.
They ain't done nothing since he's been here. Martinelli, like I said, they want him sold.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're not missing Martinelli as well. It's not me digging him out. Trossard. If you want to sort of like, have a highlights reel and you want to skate over the performances of Trossard or Saka, you know what we have? We have a lot of people who look at highlight reels and think, right, when they scored, that's it. Give them 7 out of 10, and that's the situation. We're not going to play well every game, but there's going to be situations where we are going to get bitten up the arse. We didn't play well against Fulham. We didn't play well against Burnley. We took a foot off the gas against Burnley. But guess what? If we try that in every game, that will be the that's contributing factor. So that's not winning this league, as well as injuries. But the good thing about it is that the international breaks upon us, and you just have to pray that we don't get any more injuries. But from what I've seen, next games, Tottenham, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, all teams who've got reasonable quality. Bayern Munich have got the best quality out of the teams going to play. Chelsea have just turned over rules 3-0. They're playing at home. They're going to watch that and they think, right, we're getting in Arsenal's faces. We'll do it for 90 minutes and we'll use our bench. So it's not a foregone conclusion. It's just a reminder that the Premiership's the toughest league out there and that we just have to be humble.
Stay humble, eh? Yeah. And tomorrow, everyone's going to be sitting there praying for a draw. If either one of them teams wins, Kenny, it's a problem, especially if it's Man City.
Well,
because then they'll be 4 behind all of a sudden. Oh, but the bookies said we're favourites. Well, in a couple of weeks, we might not, mate.
You know what? Both teams are fantastic teams. Both teams have spent a considerable amount of money. So, and both teams are more than capable of beating us. But the situation is, it was always going to be that case. Liverpool always going to improve. All they had to do is go back to what they know best and what they did last season, where they were strong in the midfield and they protected the defence, and no one was running through them. What do you see? 2 good wins. Man City have got the best striker in the world alongside Mbappe, and they got the best shot stopper in the world. It was always going to be a situation where they were always going to get good results. Writing these teams off, in order to boost us too early. Let's have a conversation in April. If we stalled that amount of points in April, then yeah, we can talk about winning leagues.
But let's talk about it after 10 league games. It's embarrassing. But listen, appreciate you always, Kenny, man. Yeah, we'll obviously be tuning in tomorrow to watch Man City against Liverpool. Hopefully, both teams lose. However, I actually think Man City will win. I actually think Man City will beat them. I think Man City had an easier game in midweek. That's why.
Actually, it is. And that's one of the reasons why I felt really strongly a couple of seasons ago when some Arsenal fans wanted Spurs to beat Man City, is that concentrate on your own club. Fact is, we've done it. We didn't lose the game. We could have lost the game.
We're top. If we just match their results, or better their results, it's in our hands. Yeah, win the fucking league.
Don't worry about what goes on. Just enjoy it as a neutral. But I get it. It's a new thing. But the fact is that we got to play better. We shouldn't be in a situation where we're wishing Liverpool, Man City to drop points, concurrently as they're playing each other. If we won this game today, do you think anyone would be bothered about Liverpool, Man City?
No, I couldn't care less. No, and exactly. This is why I know they're all liars. But on that bombshell, there's some prince. Oh, she's amazing. Get DAZN España, Kenny. I'm out. We're out later. So I'm going live with Northside and Shane. Yeah, DAZN España for the win. Oh my days, we're out.